Hey, it's Tommy Gunn from Cracked Rabbit Gaming, and we need to talk about Trials Rising. Now, I love the Trials franchise. I've been playing these games since Trials HD came out, and they are some of my favorites. But the launch of this game is just a mess. Trials is a racing game where you have to overcome obstacles, and you want to do it in the fastest time possible without faulting, without crashing. And this footage you're seeing is me completing an achievement where I'm not allowed to lean, so it's a little bit weird. But the core gameplay is great. Everybody loves the game just as much as ever, as far as the racing goes, and the tracks are really good. But the bugs, man, they are insane. So here are a whole bunch of bugs that were in this game right from the start. When you level up your character, which happens often, you get a loot box. Now, loot boxes have their own issues, but at least they're free and you get a lot of them. They're called gear crates in this. And you get customization items. You can just wear them as is, or you can customize them, and you can even sell them on the shop so other people can buy them for in-game currency. Some problems with those: a lot of people stopped earning loot boxes after they got into a certain level. That didn't happen to me as far as I can tell, but a lot of people experience this. You open loot crates and you don't get the items. This happened to me. I opened a box, I got some boots, then I went to my inventory and they're not there. There is a problem where the customization you put on an item gets deleted just out of nowhere. It's just gone and there's no way to recover it. So if you spent 10 hours customizing an item, tough luck. There's a problem where your customization doesn't show up for other people. So you're playing against other people like they're offline ghosts, so not actually live, and you don't see their customization. There's a bug where every time you start the game or something, your items get duplicated in your inventory, which sounds nice because you can sell them for money. However, the duplicated items aren't really there, so they don't let you sell them, and they're just stuck in your inventory. There's a limit on items in your inventory, which means if you have this bug, which pretty much everybody seems to have it, then your inventory gets full and you can't earn new items. Now, if you don't care about customized items, okay, fine. How about this? There's Track Central, which I don't have any footage of, but Track Central is where people can design their own tracks for the game. Well, there are bugs there where their tracks just get deleted or they don't save properly or something. I haven't even ventured into Track Central because of all the bugs and people talking about long loading times and stuff like that. And Track Central is what will keep this game going for a long time, since there's constantly new content that people are creating. But it's getting deleted. Here's a guy who lost all his progress in the game, like his entire save file got deleted somehow. There are these things called stadium races. So stadium races are you doing like a race that's more of, it's not as difficult obstacles, but it's more of just trying to get the fastest time, more so than the other tracks. And you have to race against these ghosts, these like AI ghosts. Well, some of them are impossible to do, literally impossible to beat, because at least after you beat them the first time, I'm not certain, because it'll pull not actually AI ghosts, but it'll pull ghosts from the leaderboards. And some people are getting the literal best players in the world as their ghosts. So it's impossible for them to win these races. Here is a screenshot of one. There are these finals of the stadiums where you are racing. You have to do all 3 races from a stadium all in a row, and you have to win all of them. And I made a post about this because people are getting different ghosts. So the ghosts that I have to play against are not the same that everybody else has to play against for some reason. So why am I getting harder ghosts on some and other people are getting easy ghosts? I don't know. It's weird. This is a video of me playing the final stadium that I had to beat to complete all of them. So thankfully I did complete them all. I had to get a platinum time to win. As you can see, I just barely beat it, and other people were able to get silver medals somehow on some of these finals and still win. There are things called contracts in the game, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. But there's this one type of contract where you have to catch up to a certain player. But the player you are up against is just a random online ghost. And the game seems to try to give you like a silver medal time for you to beat. But the problem is that player might have gotten a silver medal because they were sitting at the start line for like 5 minutes and then they started racing and they did really well. So you are now having to catch up to someone who is getting like a perfect time and they're already ahead of you. So it's literally impossible for some people to complete those. The hardest tracks in the game are called ninja tracks, and here's footage of me just barely completing one. There's a 30-minute time limit to beat any track, and on the non-ninja tracks, every time you get a fault, you get 5 seconds added to your time. On ninja tracks, that's not supposed to happen. However, it does seem to be adding an invisible 5 seconds to your time, so even though you beat the track, it may not save your score. And ninja tracks are very, very hard, so it is likely that you will fault a bunch of times and have take you a while to do it. So now your track time doesn't actually save, it's not on the leaderboards. Now this isn't so much a bug, but they added multiplayer to the game, and they use an ELO type system to determine how many points you get as you finish the races. Well, for some reason it's matching people up against much easier players, which means even if you win the race completely, you can lose points. And here are some frustrated people on Reddit posting their screenshots of them getting first place, even getting all platinum times, and still losing a bunch of points. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? And to me, it doesn't even make sense to score it this way, but that is for a whole other video. And those are just the bugs that I can remember, or I remembered to write down. There are probably a bunch more that I haven't even found because I haven't done Track Central at all yet. I'm waiting for a patch. Speaking of patches, they did release a patch, actually. Like 2 or 3 weeks after the game has launched, they released a patch. And guess what? This says it best. The patch fixed basically nothing. There is another patch that is going to come out, and they claim that it will fix a lot of these things, like the duplications and everything. But for all of that stuff to be in the game for over a month, as of this recording, the game has been out for 5 weeks. So we have just been dealing with this stuff. And just to rub salt in the wound, the game is on sale now. So the bugs aren't fixed, we all paid full price, and now the game is on sale. I do trust them to fix all of these major bugs at some point, so I'm sure the game will get much, much better, but there are still some design things to talk about. In order to unlock the harder tracks, you have to level up. And the best way to level up is to do contracts that I mentioned before. However, the contracts are pretty boring. A lot of them are just doing a ton of backflips. You can see some of them on your screen right now. Do a whole bunch of backflips, do a whole bunch of front flips, complete the track in under a certain time, do it without faulting at all. They're really boring and tedious, and they just make you basically sit at a ramp and just keep doing backflips the whole time. The previous game, Trials Fusion, had all these interesting challenges where it'd be like fly through all these flaming hoops, or it would be things that had nothing to do with the main level. They actually did a bunch of work to add fun challenges that were optional. And that's really what we were hoping for with these, but no. To unlock the extreme tracks, you have to get to level 88, which takes a very long time. I didn't think it was horrible because I did do a lot of the contracts, even though they were pretty boring, some of them. But there are a lot of people who just hate that. And players who are really good just want to play the extreme tracks or the ninja tracks. They just want to get to the harder tracks. But you can't. It won't let you do that unless you just grind and grind and grind. Another design thing is that the tracks are no longer in a set order. So if you want to just play them in order, it's really confusing because they use this world map. And because it makes sense in a way because the tracks are all set in certain cities or locations. So that's kind of cool in a way. But it would be nice to have another option to just sort them as a list and be able to see your track times easier and your leaderboards. Back to the loot boxes for a second. A lot of the items you get are just stickers you can use for customizing, which is fine, except they literally put every letter of the alphabet as a separate sticker that you have to unlock, and in different font styles. So it's like, hey, you like the letter E? Hope you get it in a loot box. One of the items that a lot of people got early on in their loot boxes were these victory animations. That is a butt-slapping thing with an annoying kazoo sound. Now, there's nothing offensive about this. It is just stupid and annoying, and you hear it after like every track, at least to begin with. So annoying that Kotaku even wrote an article about it. Hopefully this problem goes away as different items get added into the loot boxes and people unlock more stuff, but boy was it annoying. So as I said, I actually do love this game, and once they fix all these bugs, I am excited to play more of it and I do recommend it, but I really just wanted to document how bad this game was at launch.